Trump's favorite network has turned on him.
Fox polling shows voters want major changes on the top issues.
That's right, just a day after Trump claimed that his war in Iran was popular and all the polls favored him, this just happened.
Well, Americans aren't against the war. A poll just came out. Americans don't want high gasoline prices, but they're not against the war.
You look at our polls and you look at the condition of the economy, and this is the one for midterms we look at closely, and that is excellent or good, 24%, only fair or poor, 76%. And that has got to have Republicans, Senate and House, concerned.
And the truth is there's not much good news for Republicans in this whole poll we did.
Oh, that's gonna hurt!
The president received some devastating new polling. Unfortunately for him, it did not come from CNN, it did not come from MSNBC, it did not come from the failing New York Times or the Washington Post or George Soros or Hunter Biden's laptop. It came from Fox News.
Good morning, Lauren. What changes?
Good morning. Well, 4 in 10 want revolutionary change. That shows voters are unhappy and could register their discontent at the polls in November. Voters telling Fox that Democrats would do a better job on 7 of 9 major issues.
Trump's favorite network has released a national poll that showed his approval rating at just 39%, 1 point above the lowest rating Fox has ever recorded for him. And while that's bad enough, when you dig into the specific issues, it only gets worse. As Fox's own chief political analyst pointed out, Brit Hume, he admitted, quote, "There's not so much good news for Republicans in this whole poll."
You know, underwater on the economy, as you showed, underwater on affordability. Those two issues are front and center for sure. Republicans have a little bit of a lead on national security and, I guess, law enforcement, but everywhere you look, Republicans are down. Now, there is a bit of good news. As you mentioned, the redistricting will help them with seats in the House, and they will probably need every one of them they can get from that.
But the problem is not merely that Fox found Trump unpopular, right? The poll explains the specifics as to why. And the reasons, well, they're not exactly a mystery here. They are the economy, affordability that Trump claims Democrats just made up.
They used the word, first time I heard it, it was a word, made up by the Democrats. Affordability. They said, affordability. I said, I've been here one day. Don't worry, I'll take care of it. And we're taking care of it,
Inflation, the Iran war, and immigration. And a growing belief that the Republican Party serves wealthy elites rather than ordinary Americans. I mean, I wonder where they got that sense. I mean, it's not like the president was out here gloating about the economy and how it must be doing well because one of his friends could finally afford that private jet that he wanted.
We delivered 100% expensing, and that expensing, I think, where you write it off in 1 year. I have friends that bought things that, frankly, they didn't need. I have a friend that never flew in a private plane in his life, and he ended up going out buying a very expensive private plane because of expensing 1 year.
Just Democrats run this on repeat up to the midterms, please. Fox found that only 24% of registered voters describe the economy as excellent or good. 76% say it's only fair or poor.
Pull it up and we'll go from the bottom up. Voters favored Democrats by 22 points on income inequality. Dems are up 21 points on healthcare. They're up 10 on inflation. They're also leading on the economy, foreign policy, government spending, even immigration. Republicans lead on crime and on national security. Both parties say they are motivated to vote, but 68% of Democrats say they are extremely motivated versus 57% for Republicans.
Well, looks pretty bad, doesn't it?
And this is pretty devastating for Trump, because the economy is something that he's long clung to as his strongest suit. The way he describes it is though Americans are being crushed beneath falling bags of money every day. Yet 3/4 of voters look at the economy and say, that's not what's happening to me. And don't just take the polls, for instance. Go ahead and hear from Trump voters on the ground.
This war has been it's been taxing on everyone. And I'm on a fixed income, and so it's other ones that are on fixed income are really feeling it.
You could talk directly to the president. We know he likes to watch TV. What would you tell him about this war?
President Trump, you shouldn't have got us in this war and was going to end it fast, soon, and now you're starting all over again.
Has the war helped your life at all?
No. For one thing, it causes me angst. Makes me angry. And as I said, I'm very disillusioned. My entire family is disillusioned. And we are and were Trump supporters, but this is, to me, he's drawn a line in the sand. And that's how I feel. That's how we all feel.
The Fox poll found that 3/4 of voters say inflation has caused them financial hardship, including 34% who described that hardship as serious. That serious hardship figure has risen from 26% last year, and 54% expect the economy to become worse over the next year, not better. That is a very scary thought for Republicans as we head towards the midterms. And independents in particular, they're pessimistic. 64% expect deterioration over the next few months. And by the way, the issue ratings are even worse. Somehow, Fox found that only 33% approve of Trump's handling of the economy, 67% disapprove. On inflation, approval falls to 27%. On Iran, only 34% approve, while 66% disapprove. And this is another one that Trump is bound to rant about in a lengthy Truth Social post. Immigration, Trump's signature issue. He is underwater with 42% approving. Think about that, right? Trump's performing badly on inflation, badly on the economy, bad on Iran, and badly on immigration, the issue that Republicans have spent more than a decade treating as their automatic political advantage. Fox found that the Republican Party's 8-point advantage on immigration in April has disappeared. And it makes sense, right, when you consider how Trump has governed and how rogue his ICE agents are. And then there's that war in Iran that Trump insists has been ever so successful, even though his chief propagandists are falling at every hurdle during hearings on said war. And Fox's own voters give him just 34% approval rating on the conflict. That means 2/3 disapprove. And the finding here with Fox aligns with other current polls.
President Trump remains at or near record lows when we look at two polls that have come out over the past few days, both the Washington Post poll and the CNBC poll. What are we talking about here? Well, why don't we just take a look really simply at this? Okay, Trump's net approval rating. In April, according to Washington Post, he was 25 points underwater. That is approval minus disapproval. Now, basically the exact same spot. He's 24 points underwater, according to the Washington Post. That's his second worst net approval rating all time in any Washington Post poll. Now, you look at the CNBC numbers, and they tell the exact same story, even if they're slightly different numbers. In April, look at that. Trump was 18 points below water. Look at where he is now. Trump is 19 points below water. That is the worst ever net approval rating Donald Trump has ever had in CNBC polling. And when you combine the two of them, we can just say that Trump is underwater. You know what? I'll use one of my favorite phrases, like the Little Mermaid. Now, I want to put these numbers into some historical perspective for you, not just within Trump, but other presidents as well this century. And we're going to average the Washington Post.
So this is not merely Fox experiencing a temporary outbreak of liberalism, right? Different pollsters using different samples and methods are finding the same consensus across the board. Americans do not trust Trump's handling of the war. They do not believe that the costs are justified, and they do not see a clear endpoint here.
Unpopular and unauthorized war abroad is a higher priority to this administration than their ability to feed their families and provide health care to their loved ones who are sick.
Well, Senator, you're talking about political trade-offs, and our job is to deliver for the United States military and the President of the United States. And we look at the cost of a nuclear Iran, and we want to prevent that for future generations. And that requires funding and supplementals and this budget and next generation capabilities. And that's why we're here today to request some of that to ensure we can ensure that Iran never gets a nuclear weapon.
So you're essentially saying you're asking for literally $1.5 trillion for a war that President Trump said he already won. You're asking for $1.5 trillion, unlimited money for bombs, but insufficient money in for the American people, for their health care, their food, their housing, and our farmers, Secretary Rollins, who we have cut SNAP program. We are not funding the losses from emergencies that have happened in blue states, particularly when we had frost.
That's
False.
not true.
False. You're not funding it. But back to you, Secretary Hegseth.
And I would like to respond to the fertilizer and the gas.
Have your chance, Secretary Hegseth.
There's no reason to be rude.
You are asking for unlimited money for bombs when people can't feed their families. And I don't know how this administration intends to defend those decisions to the American people.
And they increasingly connect the conflict to the economic pain that they are experiencing at home. And so it's not just that he's underwater. This same Fox poll found that voters preferred Democrats on numerous hot button issues, like on income equality. They preferred Democrats by 22 points. Healthcare, Democrats by 21 points. Inflation, Democrats by 10. The economy, Democrats by 9. And even foreign policy, they prefer Democrats by 7. Republicans lead only narrowly on crime and national security. And again, this is Fox's polling, the network where Trump's policy claims ordinarily arrive wrapped in an American flag with a few hurrahs for good measure, and everyone's expected to just go with it. Yet even here, voters are saying that Democrats are better equipped to handle the economy, inflation, and foreign policy. So somehow, get this, Trump has reached the point that he's doing that bad of a job that you have Fox viewers watching hours of programming on Fox about the dangers of Democrats, only to then tell Fox's pollsters, yeah, we trust Democrats more.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.